A lot is happening when it comes to the NBA draft tonight. I'll just say this. As it comes to the NBA draft, just think about this. A kid from Maine is going to be the number one pick. Some kid from Maine who went to Duke is going to be the number one pick. And if you think about contracts and how things are working, he might be the first billion-dollar player. He'll get his rookie contract, he'll sign an extension, then he'll get the Supermax, and then continue to make money. If he has the career that we all anticipate, he could be the first billion-dollar player. A kid from Maine with the number one pick tonight. Now, when it comes to the draft in general, there aren't the big names that you're all used to. It's not. But I do think that there are some good players that can help teams, and I think what we just saw with the NBA Finals, I think teams are now starting to look for younger players that are cost-controlled, that they can develop. This happens in every time, any league, every time there's some sort of trendsetter. It happens in sports. For years in football, it was about offensive-minded, move the ball downfield. There was a little period where, defense. But in the NBA, it is this new model now. I mean, people went after what the Warriors were doing, and everyone became a three-point shooter, right? Then you needed 3 stars. Remember that? You needed the big 3 to win. It's a copycat league, and I think now teams are trying to get out of some of their big-time contracts with younger ascending talents and younger players combined with some buyout minimum salary players. So I think that's where the NBA is going. But as for tonight, the Dylan Harpers of the world aren't going to wow you, right? VJ Edgecombe's not going to wow you. You probably know who Con Kneipel is. He went to Duke. You probably know him. Ace Bailey, just some of the names that are out there. The Celtics seem to be big on Kaspers Yakachunas. He's from Illinois. He's a 6'6" guard, but he can shoot. If the Celtics are going to get up there, they need to make a trade. They probably need to trade one of, whether it's White. I don't think the Jaylen Brown thing's happening, but you never know. We'll be on standby for the next 23 minutes. Could Derek White happen? I think that could. Sounds like they want to keep White and Jaylen Brown together, along with Jason Tatum when he comes back. But I think Sam Hauser could be somebody on the move. And who knows? Maybe they package their picks to move up into the top 10 tonight. So we can get into that, but I still have a take on the Celtics, and I feel like as though they gave up their championship run. They gave it up. I don't like it. I understand it. I think they're going to lean on Joe Mazzulla now and the philosophy and the analytics instead of maybe coaching some players up. How could we forget that Joe Mazzulla is going into the last year of his deal? Do you think he's going to be a lame duck heading into the season? I don't. I think they give him an extension. Ime Udoka just got an extension. So absolutely. Now, it could make some sense to let it play out a little bit, right? See how he plays without Jason Tatum, or how he coaches, how the team plays. Maybe they come up with something during the middle of the season. There's a lot of talk about when Jason Tatum comes back. I will tell you this, Celtics fans. I wouldn't look into it. I think what might be best for the Celtics is him not coming back early. I think you shouldn't analyze anything when it comes to the returns that they got dumping Kristaps Porzingis and trading Jrue Holiday. Now, I do like Anthony Simon, but he's not an all-star. And he might not even be here long-term. Reading from Gary Washburn today, though, it sounds like they wanted him and kept him away from Orlando, who is now turning into one of the favorites in the wide-open Eastern Conference that is the NBA. The Celtics phone has been ringing today. Teams were offering top 10 picks for Derek White. There are many more moves to come for the Celtics this offseason. League sources told Brian Robb, our good friend today, Boston is looking to retool their roster for the future with Jason Tatum out. The Celtics did not want to trade Jrue Holiday or Porzingis They at least didn't intend to until Jason Tatum's injury, this according to Gary Washburn of the Boston Globe. The second apron of the league's salary cap was worth the penalty as long as the Celtics were playing into mid-June. Once Tatum got sidelined, that agenda changed. And the blueprint laid out by both the Thunder and Pacers, you hear that, is the recipe for success in the new CBA is youth, value contracts, and athleticism. I mentioned don't look into the return that the Celtics got for Porzingis and Holiday. Again, Simon is an expiring contract. Guy can shoot. Might not play defense, but he can shoot. Georgie Niang, local kid, right? Played at Tilton from Lawrence. Has had a little bit of a spat with Jaylen Brown in the past, if you remember. Shoots 41% from three. They need somewhat of a big that can shoot. I don't know if they're a part of it. That's why I'm not really looking into it. But do you notice the trend there? 3-point shooters. Simon, 38% for his career. Niang, 41. What I've gotten from this trade period, it's not about that the run's over, because it is. That pisses me off. I'm upset about that. It's the fact that Joe Mazzulla, despite what happened this offseason, will probably get that extension instead of waiting it out and seeing if he can coach without Jason Tatum. I think he's going to get the extension. The other thing about the Simons deal that Washburn mentioned, he requested a trade before last season. He was in Orlando for Game 3 of the Celtics series. So, I don't know if he wanted to play for the Magic, but the Celtics blocked it. And just a couple of other things when it comes to that. Tyrese Halliburton is a torn Achilles. The Pacers are no longer the favorite out of the East. Right? The Celtics aren't. The Cavs probably are. Orlando's moving up. Detroit's moving up. The Knicks don't have a coach. The Magic did add Bane, a shooter. They lack a point guard. I mentioned the Pistons, who have yet to win a playoff series in a while. The East is wide open, and that's why I'm upset that the Celtics gave up on that run. Now, I know people are positive and think they're going to retool. I personally think they're going to even take off less money. What is the future of Al Horford? Do they bring Luke Cornett back? Now, Cornett has bird rights. He'll probably get a minimum deal. But there's a robust market for Al Horford. This team has no bigs. I'm going to say it again. The Celtics will not compete for a championship in a wide open Eastern Conference this year. I'm fine with dumping the salaries for the reason I'm not fine with ending the Celtics run. The Celtics had to adjust. These are changing times, no doubt about it. These trades were necessary and beneficial for the short and long term, but for the run that this team would have had, that is over. It's over for this year. When Tatum comes back, who knows? That's when I would put the chips back into the table. Again, it's draft night. We'll see what happens. A lot can happen. All I will tell you is the Celtics will try to save more money. Why pay a tax this year if you're not competing for a championship? I'll go along with it. I don't agree with it. I know why they're doing it. But you lost. I thought you lost it. I thought this team could go on a run. People are probably saying that right now about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oh, look at all the draft picks. They could go win 5 in a row. I thought the Celtics could too. I wanted the Celtics to at least test ownership if they won back-to-back. Could you break up a team that it was going for a three-peat? Instead, they saw that Tatum was out, and they thought about the money and the changing times and what the new trend is in the NBA. Team's not going to compete for a championship next year, and that sucks. Yeah, they're going to be the next dynasty. I don't, but they're set up that way. I do think, though, for the Celtics' sake, it might be in their best interest to not pay any tax this year. let's just talk about this for one more second. Because I do want to get into the Red Sox because they lost again, and it's bad. And it's horrible. And how many is that now? 5? 5 in a row or 6? I can't remember now. 5. Oh, thank you, Luke, back there. That's not good. 5 losses in a row? Not good. When it comes to the Celtics, though, pull back for a year. Pay no tax. I don't know how you sign Al Horford. I don't know how you sign Cornette in those cases. I think Cornette's bird rights. There are some trade exceptions that I can't figure out. We're learning on the fly with those. They're only $5 million away from the second apron. They need to free up more money. They need to do it to get their roster at the right limit. I don't know how they bring 2 bigs back with $5 million to play before the second apron. Unless they want to pay the second apron. Why would they make these moves to do that? I don't know. If anything, I think they get out of paying a tax at all, even in the first apron. I just don't know how they field a team at all. Maybe they're looking at the draft. Maybe they have their sights on someone that can be a plug and play. They've done it in the past. Danny Ainge did it with bigs in particular. Big Baby Davis was a big, played right away. Leon Poe could play right away. Robert Williams could play right away. So they need a big. I don't know where they're going to find it. In this draft, there are a couple of guys late. You guys don't care about the names, but I do. Creighton had a big man that played with Baylor Shireman. Ryan Kalkbrenner, maybe he's there in the late first round, early second. I don't know. There are bigs available. They need to fill out their roster, and they're $5 million away from the second apron. I think they're giving up more money. That's my opinion on that.